Shoo-in.
Speaking of
I've
that,
been on that staff.
Starter.
the NFL is underway, guys. I mean,
Well, that's a fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
the new season has
never really
started. This is
left.
officially, yeah, like
New
So
league
many
year has started.
acquisitions.
New league year has started. The combine is finished. The
Happy New
draft
Year.
is coming up in almost it'll be at the end towards the end of
Month and a half,
next month.
April, right?
Yeah. April
Yeah.
4th
24th,
through
the
26th.
draft comes. I want to point out, in case
That's
you
my
guys
dad
haven't
and
heard
grandma's
this,
birthday.
nice. In case you guys weren't aware, I wanted to point this out that the combine contract, the NFL has a contract with Indianapolis that goes only until 2026. So this next combine that happens potentially could be the last combine that happens in Lucas Oil Stadium, at least in consecutive years. So the NFL currently has a contract with them through 2026. But what's real, I mean, the thing is Lucas Oil Stadium was built not only for the games that they play to host the Colts, obviously, but it was also built with in mind having a contract and hosting the combine. The combine has literally never been hosted anywhere else since its inception. They've got fiber optic wires that connect from the hospitals next door and sky walkways. That way, team doctors and teams can review MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, any of that in real time as it's happening in the hospital next door. And so this stadium was created with that in mind. The NFL is trying to go like the draft, where they go around from city to city and different stadium to stadium, potentially hosting these combines. Uh, Indianapolis could also be looking at losing about $10 million in revenue per year if they don't get this contract back from the NFL.
That would be huge for Indy because that is like the glorifying thing that reporters love going to more than anything else is the combine. They
Well,
meet up, they go to
Indianapolis
St.
has nothing
Elmo's.
else.
That
No, not really, but
I mean, like that gives reporters stories for the next 3 weeks until 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks until the draft. So I mean, it's huge in the from like a media sense. It's massive. Um, the 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 combine's been hosted at other places besides Indianapolis. That's
Oh,
just simply
thank you for the
not.
correction.
Yeah, the
I thought
combine has
that
been
was
happening since 1982. So I know like Bo Jackson for the longest time had the fastest 40-yard dash time at the unofficial 40-yard dash time
Unofficial.
at the combine.
Because it
thank you for
still
that
would be the
correction. I
fastest
got that
if it
wrong.
was official.
Still would be, yeah. He ran like a 4.1 something. I think it's insane. But yeah, I think the combine is important. I think now correct me if I'm wrong here. It feels like they didn't hype up the combine as much as they have in the past. And maybe that's because like when I was like playing in college, you'd be like, oh wow, like that guy who's in college is going to the combine or whatever. And like people like would talk about it more like that, like if you're in college. But I don't know, like because I also didn't play like high level college either. So it's not like a lot of people on my team were talking about going to the combine.
I think media coverage in general is changing. So like we don't watch cable TV much anymore to see
Yeah.
like commercials and stuff like
and
that.
I mean
But
most of the time now the can't miss prospects don't even do anything at the combine anymore.
Well, yeah,
So
that's the
like
thing
that's the
too.
biggest
That's
Like
where I
thing
was
right
going to
now.
go.
all everybody talked about when Tim Tebow finished his college career was how he was going to perform at the combine, right? And nowadays, someone like Tim Tebow doesn't even fucking throw at the
They're waiting
Yeah.
for
combine,
the pro
right?
day now.
Or
Yeah,
they go and they measure out and they do like a couple of the drills,
but
but
they
they
don't
don't
throw.
do they
Yeah.
don't do the position specific, right?
Hmm.
And so you get a lot of that. I think that's probably the biggest point, Sean, is that the guys, the reason why it's probably not as big as it used to be is either number one, we already know who's declaring for the draft, and we've already got their college film, we already have their college tape. It's not the same as it used to be. So a mix of we already know that they're leaving, so they don't really need to show out in the combine, those top 100 prospects, right? And then probably a mix of like cable television isn't what it used to be. And then the other portion is like guys just aren't competing there, right? It's more for those guys who are probably going to be a day two, more than likely day three,
like
that
the
go and
guys that are
actually
at
compete.
the guys that are at the top, it's almost like it can only hurt them, and it's only beneficial to those that aren't well known or are kind of slept on. So
And
it's
that's
like
where they do their pro days.
yeah,
Like their pro day, you're 100% right. Their pro days are going to be more of where they start to do things in a controlled environment, somewhere where they can say, "Oh, well, I'm going to throw to this receiver." Because I mean, people that I know don't know ball, including my wife. She's watching these guys and she goes, "Well, these receivers, like that was a bad ball being thrown." And obviously, it's Will Howard out there. I think we all know at this point that Will Howard had one of the worst combines of a top, quote unquote, top prospect for a quarterback. And
The
he's
Raiders will
just,
draft him
yeah, probably.
in like the
Uh,
fourth round.
but like he's out there just throwing ducks. He's throwing them too far. He's not throwing them far enough. And you got these receivers, and these, my wife and some other people are going, are these receivers being counted? Are these passes being counted against these receivers? I'm like, no, not really. But that's also why some of the top prospects aren't going out there and competing in these drills to show out. They go to a control environment like their pro day where they're comfortable with the quarterback that they're throwing with and those types of things. So the combine has definitely become lackluster over the last decade.
Was there a quarterback that the combine really helped his like draft stock? Like was there
Zach
someone that kind
Wilson.
of came out of
I
nowhere?
wouldn't say it's necessarily
Wilson,
always like
he had that
quarterbacks,
one
but
No,
big
no, no.
somebody,
I'm talking about
bro,
this
like
year. I'm not.
somebody
I'm
always
heard
runs
Will
a
Howard stuff.
killer fucking 40 and like that usually like boosts them or whatever. But like this year, I don't know. I think there were a few
Oh,
linemen that ran like decent 40-yard dash times that was like, oh, look at this guy.
but
He's not too bad.
Tybo's to answer
There's
Tybo's.
one guy who's the guy who performed or like did decent at the combine, but only had like 4 sacks all year. Who the fuck was that guy? They were talking about him. I saw on ESPN one day. It was like it
Talking
was
about this
literally
year?
like he had 4 sacks this past year in college. And he's like they're talking about him being a possible, like second round pick, and it's like the guy hasn't he had 4 sacks all year. But he had a really good combine showing as well. So it's like, how good is this guy? But yeah, it happens a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. It happens a couple times every year.
I want to say there was a defensive tackle Star Lotulelei or whatever, like didn't do much in his college career, but had just insane metrics at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
40 time, cone drill, vertical, all this junk was just like tops of the league. Tops of the who's going into the league, and he got drafted pretty high based on mostly just that.
I'm pretty sure Myles Garrett like ran a really good 40 and had a pretty good
Yeah, but
DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf had a great combine
that
and got drafted because of his combine. He had actually like a quote unquote like perfect combine. His was actually immaculate. And then like Myles Garrett ran a really good 40 and
speaking
had
of
some
DK, how does that look for him in Pittsburgh now? That's surprising me.
Do you see the meme?
George?
Do you see the meme of the final battle from Civil War? It's like DK and George Pickens, and it was like some poor corner from the Browns. It was just because who are the two guys fighting Iron Man? What is it? It's Cap and
Bucky.
Yeah. Cap and it's like George Pickens and DK Metcalf just beating the shit out of some corner. That'll be fun to watch. That'll be entertaining.
Will it be fun to watch? They don't have a quarterback. Their quarterbacks are Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson.
For now, they don't have a quarterback.
For now,
Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, yeah, it's probably. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to be going in between Pittsburgh and probably Minnesota.
If he doesn't, he retires. Where does he? Yeah, that's a fine. That's tough.
That's a fine.
That's a bummer.
I don't know if you're muted, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, we definitely can't hear you.
Damn. I still can't hear you, bud. Don't know what's going on.
No, okay, so if you had to choose between
Mark
Justin
that down,
Jefferson and
Tybo,
Jordan
Fine
Addison, will you let me fucking talk?
No,
today?
I won't.
God damn it.
Well, we tried to let you talk, and then your shit was muted.
God fucking damn it, guys. You don't care about what I have to say. Why am I even on this?
Well, you don't even care about what you have to say. You
Why
had
is my
yourself
name on the
muted
podcast?
when you tried to talk.
If you had to pick between Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and DK Metcalf and George Pickens, who would you pick?
That was the fucking question.
I
had
really?
to pour myself a glass of
stupid
scotch.
fucking question.
I was rattling around a bunch of ice cubes, and I didn't want you to fucking hear it on the show.
Okay, excuses are like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and they stink, bud. All
And
right, I
mine
don't want to hear
stinks real
yours.
bad right now.
Okay, so
Oh
so
my
of
God.
Whether
four
that be
fucking guys,
excuse or
who do I
butthole,
want
you guys
starting on my
decide.
team?
Who
What?
would you rather be throwing to if you were an NFL quarterback? George Pickens and DK Metcalf, or Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison?
Justin Jefferson,
Oh,
Jordan Addison.
JJ.
It's not even a
Yeah,
question.
probably the guys up north with the Vikings
But
here.
at the
Okay.
same time, you have to think about this. Pittsburgh has a much better defense, and Mike Tomlin's guaranteed to go over 500.
Much
Does
better.
So-
Pittsburgh have a much better defense?
So?
Do they have a much better defense?
They
On
just-
paper,
That's-
I'd
they
say like
just
on
added-
paper they have a
On
much better
paper, for
defense.
sure.
Yes,
They
but
just
the way I don't know the way the Vikings defense played this year, they definitely played better
They
than
have
the
And
Steelers
they,
defense.
They
But
did
the
lose
Steelers
some
on
guys,
paper
but
look
they
better.
did just get some guys back. Like we
they
can
have
go
two
over that here in
All-Pro
a minute.
pass rushers in Van Ginkel and Grenard, and they just added Jonathan Allen.
I thought Van Ginkel was a linebacker.
but he's a
Doesn't he
they're
play
a
like
3-4.
inside?
They're a
Or is he an
3-4.
edge? Oh, okay.
Overall, for Pittsburgh, obviously the big
Sweating.
name
You guys are
in
fucking-
decaf, they gave him 4
Sure,
years,
that's why you're sweating.
$132 million. Outside players that they also brought in include Kenneth Gainwell at running back because they did lose Najee Harris.
That's a good pickup.
They did bring in Darius Slay. They brought back Mason Rudolph. Scotty Miller and Ben Skowronek also came in. Two no-name wide receivers that'll continue to be no names.
Hey, Scotty Miller had like a stretch, like a month stretch for the Bucks that was legendary. All right, you fucking watch yourself. No name wide receivers there.
Who was throwing to him?
Tom
Well-
fucking Brady, I believe.
He
It
can
wasn't
make
Baker. It
He
wasn't
can make
Baker. I tell
any
you that
white
much.
receiver fucking worth his salt. Okay.
Flat.
But the
Good
big
wide
big
receiver.
acquisitions there, Darius Slay and obviously DK Metcalf. Kenneth Gainwell slip in behind Jalen Warren that they signed an extension to. So overall, they did get better, but they don't have a quarterback at the moment. Not really too worried about Mike Tomlin in the
Who are
future.
those teams that don't have quarterbacks right now? Who doesn't have a quarterback right now?
Ooh, good question.
Giants.
The Giants, the Steelers, the Raiders.
The Raiders have a quarterback. They have Geno.
I mean, like,
Don't
yes.
disrespect your own team.
You're
Don't
okay.
do
Yeah,
that.
we have Geno.
Don't
We have
disrespect
Geno, but
your own team.
we're probably gonna draft someone in like the 6th round and sit him all year. But
Yeah,
we
but-
talked earlier. Ty Bob, the Colts, they don't really have a quarterback.
The Jets.
They have two.
The Jets
Yeah,
don't have a
that-
quarterback.
two can be as bad as one there, Sean.
The
And
Jets
when
have
you got
Justin
two quarterbacks,
Fields.
you don't have one.
Yeah,
Jets have Justin Fields.
they do.
Oh, they did get
That's
Joe
going
Fields.
to be
That's
their
right.
quarterback.
Okay,
That's right.
And he's
So
reunited
Pittsburgh-
with Garrett Wilson.
Pittsburgh and Cleveland are both without quarterbacks.
What about Miami and the whole Tua deal?
They
got
they
Zach
have
Wilson.
Tua and they
mean,
extended him.
Oh, that's right. And Zach Wilson's on the
Zach Wilson
yeah,
could be a
they're
good backup
fine.
there.
They're fine.
Guys,
Tennessee,
Guys.
Tennessee.
Cleveland has Kenny Pickett.
Oh yeah, don't forget
Shut
about
up.
that.
Yeah, Cleveland doesn't have a
Pittsburgh,
quarterback.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Tennessee.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is without a
Indy.
quarterback because there's
They-
no way JJ is going to be healthy enough. We said the Giants.
The Jaguars.
They still have Trevor Lawrence.
I mean,
They don't have a
He neither
quarterback.
here nor there.
he is
Neither
a
here nor there.
quarterback. He's not the quarterback.
New
for the
Orleans, New
Jaguars.
Orleans doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah,
It's
Derek
Derek
Carr,
Carr, but they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, the Panthers. I mean, Bryce Young is
Seattle-
their quarterback.
I'm counting
Right.
Seattle in that. They've got Sam Darnold, but Seattle doesn't have a quarterback. So we got like 6-7 teams that don't have quarterbacks.
That's so harsh, dude. They just spent like $100 million on a fucking quarterback. And
Right.
Yeah,
I would,
so
I'm just
I
like,
would
"Ah, they
say,
don't have a quarterback.
I would say
own
Miami
fault.
more so doesn't have a
That'd be
quarterback than fucking Seattle.
Yeah,
I'm
Tua-
taking
Tua's just
Tua.
gonna get
bro,
knocked in the
Tua's
head
not
too
going to
many
play the
times.
whole fucking season, bro.
I'm
Like at this
taking-
point,
Yeah,
he's
but that's why you
not.
have
I'll
Zach
take
Wilson.
2
This is
games
where he
of
comes
Tua
back.
Shut the fuck up.
over
This-
17
Zach
You
games.
don't
Wilson-
mean that.
Zach Wilson in Miami. There's so many MILFs down there. He's gonna thrive down there in Miami.
You can't say that with
He
a
gets-
straight face, Sean.
Zach Wilson will thrive in Miami with the 6 games he
No,
plays this year.
Check out the
has to get
YouTube.
the
He
ball
said it
out
with a straight
fast.
face.
All
He
right,
has to get
we'll
the
see
ball
it.
out fast. That's it. That's all he has to do. He can do that.
Pull out fast.
So we
For
we
For the
mainly
right
been
age,
talking
you shouldn't
about-
have to.
We mainly been talking about acquisitions, but I do want to make one point about like a huge theme of this free agency right now. The Eagles, after winning a Super Bowl, are letting everybody go.
Yeah, who cares? They
I'm
just
sorry,
want an
Tybo.
excuse to
That
fire
might be
Nick
the
Sirianni.
that might be the best joke that has ever been made on this show.
I don't think I heard it because I was reading off free agent
Oh,
signings,
damn.
but
Damn, too
Oh
late now.
no, it's too late.
Yeah, dang, yeah,
I'll
that's
go back and listen to it. Maybe
yeah.
I'll
Just
laugh.
go
I
back
probably
and
won't.
listen to it, man. Damn,
It's my
Damn,
turn
but-
today. It's my turn. It's my turn to take the brunt of the jokes today. Sometimes it's Tommy. Most of the times it's Sean. Sometimes
it
it's
wasn't
Whoa,
Tyler.
about
whoa,
you.
most of
It
the
really
time
wasn't
it's
about
Tyler.
you.
Whoa,
It wasn't,
whoa,
dude.
whoa.
Don't get your panties in a bunch. It wasn't about you. You fucking
It's not about
narcissist.
you either, Tommy.
What the hell were you getting on about, anyways?
The Eagles like are decimating.
Oh
their
yeah,
defense.
The birds.
the birds. Yeah, they don't give a shit. They won their Super Bowl. They can go another, 5-6 years without winning one and fire Nick Sirianni in 3 or 4 years. Like this
Or
is
you
the
think they're
Philly,
just
or
gonna
this is
draft
this
a bunch
is
of Georgia players again, and they're going to be all right.
yeah, this is the Eagles. This is standard operating procedure post championship.
let's go position by position. We can kind of jump around by team if we've got a little something here, but we've already obviously talked about Sam Darnold to Seattle, Justin Fields to the Jets. We also hit on Daniel Jones to the Colts. Something I don't ever think got covered. I definitely didn't see it. Jacoby Brissett is going to Arizona, 2 years, $12 million, sitting behind Kyler Murray. Marcus Mariota.
He'll
I
play
thought
in a
he
few
had
games this year too, because Kyler can't stay fucking healthy either.
I thought Marcus Mariota had a multi-year deal. He clearly did not. He's
Dang.
back with the Commanders on another 1 year, $8 million deal. Commies are throwing around money out here. This is getting a
Hey,
little wild.
No, they are.
They're going all in for it right now.
We've
They're
got
gonna be
Mason
exciting.
Rudolph,
So are
2
the
years back
Broncos.
to Pittsburgh.
The
You
Broncos
have
have
a
been throwing around
quarterback
fucking
on a rookie
money.
contract. That's what you do.
Yeah.
We've got a new Sam Darnold, guys. Mac Jones is headed to San Francisco on a 2 year deal.
That's
Why
just
does
to
that
prove
make
to
him
Brock
new Sam
Purdy that
Darnold?
they don't need him.
Just a chubbier Brock Purdy.
Slower, also.
Yeah,
Mac
well,
Jones
that's
is
not.
nowhere
I
near as
mean,
good as Brock Purdy.
The top
You
name
haven't
still
seen him in
remaining at
Shanahan's
quarterback.
offense yet.
For those 7 teams, I think we listed off there. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco are still currently free agents.
I want to see Jameis in Pittsburgh, honestly. I think
yeah,
that would
someone
be
better
exciting.
eat a fucking W and sign Jameis Winston. You know what, the Raiders, God damn it, let's sign Jameis Winston. Who gives a fuck? Entertainment value, right
I
there.
want to see
Entertainment value.
Jameis as a full-time starter for 17 games. Don't pull that Cleveland crap where he goes in and he
Or
plays
the
too
Pittsburgh
well.
Steelers.
I want to see him play.
Stillers.
Have him go to the
Give it to
Steelers
me.
and have Aaron Rodgers go to
Hey,
the Vikings.
J-Bo throwing to DK and George Pickens.
Yes.
Filthy. That'd be the grimiest thing I've ever seen in my
That's
fucking
must
life.
watch.
Throwing to him,
TV.
those two are going to
With
be getting
Muth too.
fights.
With oh yeah, that's
Good
just
play.
that's sick.
George Pickens is never going to be open because he's out there throwing haymakers with
That
some
would-
no-name.
That would
So
make
does
the
DK.
Steelers football team
Exactly.
must-watch football. Like must-watch TV on Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
They're actually going to be exciting for one time, and they're going to have like 4 wins.
Yeah, the last time we were excited about a Steelers team like this is when they had a bunch of people dealing CTE on the defense. So
At
and those
21.
guys are all in the Hall of Fame. So
And a
we're
rapist
gonna be in
under
the Hall of
center.
Fame.
And a rapist under center.
Hey. Hey, man.
You're supposed to say grapist when we're on audio.
Rapist.
Sorry. Grapist.
Shout out
edit
the
me
whitest
there,
kids you
Sean.
know for making that term stick. You guys,
At running back,
watch the whitest kids you know.
Yeah.
A no-name
Yeah,
position
these
here at
fucking
running
idiots
back.
to our left over here.
Yeah,
Suck.
I hung out at the table I ate at every day at lunch.
Aaron Jones.
I know you're
got
making a reference, but I'm just being stupid there,
Yeah.
Tybo. Take it easy.
Oh, we can
Aaron
tell.
Jones and Saquon Barkley got re-signed to their respective teams.
Good.
Minnesota and Philly. Najee Harris did go to the Chargers. Don't like that one.
That's
Not a
tough.
fan. We've got
Eh.
Javonte Williams. He went down to Dallas. Dallas also signed Miles Sanders. So Maybe we'll see what happens down in Dallas. Not a whole lot, I'm expecting.
They're getting dick down in
Kareem-
Dallas.
They're
That's what's
making
happening in
moves,
fucking
baby.
Dallas. Okay, they're getting dick down.
Former Dallas running back Rico Dowdle did go to Carolina. He'll probably sit
Rico.
behind
Hey, who
Chuba
had a
Hubbard.
sneaky ass 1,000-yard season last year?
Rico did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
Rico did have
shit.
a
Good for him.
1,000-yard season.
Good for him. Good for him.
It's a good sign for him getting out of Dallas. The Chiefs
Well, and he got paid
did
for
bring
it too.
back
That's yeah.
Kareem Hunt. We also
Kareem.
brought in Elijah Mitchell. So
wait,
excited
hang-
to
back
see
to the
those
Panthers
backups.
running backs though. Do they still have Chuba Hubbard?
Yes, they do
still
still have
Chuba. They
Chuba
just
Hubbard.
signed him to an
Final-
extension during
It's a
the
decent
season.
room.
There it
It's a
is.
decent looking room.
Well, and then
And they have
you've
Jonathan
got,
Brooks too.
Jonathan Brooks. Yeah.
He'll
But
be
he's-
coming
he's
back
always
off
hurt.
of ACL.
It's a decent looking room.
Wait, did he get hurt again?
Yeah, he
got
blew
hurt-
his
he
ACL
played
out.
like 5 snaps last year and blew his ACL out.
Who, Chuba?
Didn't
No,
know.
No,
Jonathan Brooks.
Oh yeah.
Didn't know.
Chuba
that.
was hurt quite some time last year though, too. Like he had like an
He got hurt at the very end of the year.
oh okay, end of the year.
Big
He
name
was a
free
good
agents.
fantasy running back.
Big name free agents still out there for running backs. J.K. Dobbins, Nick Chubb, and Gus Edwards. Throw the hat in the ring here for fullback Kyle Juszczyk.
Hey, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards are going to go to the same team.
Like,
They're a package sign.
Probably.
yeah, I was gonna say their package deal. You have to.
You can't They're like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You can't sign one without the other.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, I think the Gus Edwards and who's his package deal? Fuck, we just said his
Today,
goddamn
Junior.
name.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. I don't think they're not a good run by committee room though. I would say I like there. I think
Yeah,
there
one
are
of them was
better
always hurt.
run by committee rooms in the NFL for sure. Maybe it's better if you don't take both of them. Is what I'm possibly getting at here. It could.
Do you want to relook at the stats from Chargers run game last year?
J.K.
I mean,
Dobbins was very good last season before he got injured. He was.
And
Yes,
he was
when
yes.
Gus Edwards stepped in, he had like close to 100 yards a game.
What I'm saying is, I feel like they're never good at the same. Like there's like one's always hurt, one's not hurt, one's running the ball well, one's running. That's what I'm getting at. I guess is kind of. I didn't do a very good job of saying that. So sorry,
Clearly.
But,
What is the one team that you guys think actually won free agency this offseason?
The Broncos. As of right now, the Broncos have brought literally their entire very young roster back, and it was good. They're going to be the Broncos.
See,
watch out.
I think it's the Bears right now. Completely rebuild that whole entire
Yeah.
offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson as the head coach, like that's.
But the thing is,
That's
though,
the
bro, the
Bears are
Bears were
close,
so
but, like,
fucking bad. The Bears literally had zero signs of like being a competent football team throughout most of last year. The Broncos, on the other hand,
They had some
Like,
signs.
were a blocked field goal away from beating you guys and carved out a decent season, I would say, for the Broncos. And they brought most people
for
back.
having an already decent defense. The pieces that they added to that defense kind of makes them a little scary. Like
we're gonna
the
have
Bears?
to bring in
no, the Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna.
I
the
totally agree with
Broncos
you, though.
offensive line got better. They lost Keenan Allen, a toxic piece in that locker room.
Bears.
We'll see.
Bears.
Bears.
They lost a toxic piece in that locker room with Keenan Allen. We'll see. But I would agree. I would say the Broncos win. Not necessarily on the offensive side. The defense that was already very, very good just got a whole lot better, especially with bringing in their safety from the 49ers, Talanoa
Who's
Funga.
constantly hurt?
He is consistently injured, but
Because he plays
I
with a
think
reckless
he's-
abandon.
I think he goes into
He's
a
a great
team
player.
guard
that
for safety.
he is a very good player, but I think he goes into a team that also has a good rotation where his usage rate doesn't have to be as high as it was when he was in San Francisco. So he can kind of get rolled around out there and that will create his longevity for the full season.
Yeah, I would be more concerned about the injury issues with Dre Greenlaw. He had a
Yes.
Achilles.
Well, he was
So,
out all last season. Yeah,
That's my point.
Yeah.
On the other
Honestly,
side, didn't
the only other
you
team that I
guys?
can think of is the Patriots right there. They signed a
Yeah.
lot of people.
They
this
did a
offseason.
really good job too. Yeah.
Bringing in.
I would
a lot
say
of
you
guys
guys-
that Vrabel's worked with before.